Hi guys, good evening. In today's class, we have to discuss about uh, business process re-engineering, one of the frequently tested topics that has been tested in the past. Yeah, I have shared this handout with you. There are some other areas also in this handout, but today's focus is going to be on BPR. So what we are going to do today, discuss the theory of BPR, and then we'll see one past paper question on BPR. So let's first go through this handout. BPR is the fundamental rethinking and radical redesign of business processes. So I want you to understand it's a radical redesign. It's not anything about improving step by step. We are not looking for any gradual change. What BPR helps you is to, completely make a changeover. So how you have been doing things all this time, how you will be doing things after the BPR are going to be completely different. It's a radical redesign of processes. So it might be a cultural change. It might be a complete change of your organizational structure. It might be a complete change of your processes, how you are doing things, right? To achieve a dramatic improvement in critical contemporary measures of performance, such as cost, quality, service, and speed. So point number one, radical change. Point number two, improved customer satisfaction is the primary aim. Improved. So the second point I want to highlight about BPR is improved customer satisfaction and customer focus is going to be the primary aim. So why are we redesigning the processes is primarily because we want to focus on customer satisfaction. Prior to re-engineering, it took IBM credit between 1 and 2 weeks to issue credit, often losing customers during this period. On investigation, it was found that performing the actual, it's a case study, an example of how BPR has helped. I'll just let it for your reading. Go through that. We are going to anyway discuss the past paper question that will help you to understand this very well. Features of re-engineered processes. Have a look at this. Several jobs are combined into one. Sometimes what will happen is after the re-engineering, whatever you had been doing separately earlier, individually earlier, now might be combined into one team or one individual handling it. So the way the jobs were organized is going to be different. Workers make real decisions. Workers making real decisions means, guys, earlier sometimes your traditional system might be it's an autocratic system where you give the instructions only, where now the workers are going to think how we can improve the customer satisfaction, thinking like that within a certain degree of freedom, they making their own decisions. Third one is work is performed where it makes most sense, meaning see, sometimes how your processes had been organized, how your process were arranged might be changed after the BPR. I'll show you with an example. Checks and controls are reduced. Checks and controls are reduced means the supervisory roles will be reduced. We want the people to get it right at the first time itself. Reconciliation processes are reduced. That is also, reconciliation is a way of finding mistakes, right? So we don't want to waste effort in finding mistakes. It must be an effort of avoiding mistake in the first place. A case manager provides a point of contact. So these are some of the features of re-engineered process. After business process re-engineering, you may be able to see some of these features. The influence of BPR on organizational performance. Despite some success stories, IBM and Ford, BPR became unpopular in the late 1990s due to some widely discussed failures. Numerous organizations have attempted to redesign their business processes but have failed to enjoy the enormous improvements in organizational performance that were promised. The key to realizing these improvements in performance seems to be continuous learning. As problems emerge, they must be identified, analyzed, and communicated in order to improve the future success rate of BPR. So what it says is, guys, even though BPR itself is a very, very good concept, in implementation, it had not been very successful always. There are companies which failed in BPR. So for that, what they say, after you implement BPR, and it won't become success in the first go. When you are implementing BPR for the first time, still you may have problems with the BPR. So the BPR itself has to be continuously improved thereafter. Whatever the defects, whatever the problems you are facing with BPR must be improved, must be avoided, eliminated little by little. The influence of BPR on systems development. BPR results in more automation and greater use of IT and IS to integrate process. Some of the key technologies that allow fundamental shifts in business operations to occur are shared database access from any location. I think now under the pandemic situation, now everyone knows this. We all work from home, whereas we have a shared database. So even without these work from home setups, if your company is going for BPR, such a system would have been useful. Expert systems to develop expertise. Expert system means, guys, say in particular areas. Say for example, if your company is involved in let's say providing legal services or legal advisory services, coming up with an information technology system for the people or for the users to access and get the information that they want directly from the system. I will call it an expert system because it is in a narrow area of legal advisory services. So selecting particular areas and coming up with expert systems. Powerful communication networks for remote offices, wireless communication for on the spot decision making. Just go through that, guys. They will never ask you these direct questions, right? So see, in summary, what you need to remember about BPR is it's a radical changeover of business processes. All of a sudden, you are changing a big change. You are making a big change in the way that processes have been done in the past. Why are you doing that? You want a sudden improvement, radical improvement in your performance. And the focus has to be customer focus, customer satisfaction. Clear? With this understanding, let's see a past paper question. Right? I have selected this one, March-June 2016, Cuthbert question. So what you must do, guys, now you have to stop watching this video, take this question, go through, read, and then you come up with your answer. Write down your answer, at least points form. Okay, what and what I will be including in my answer, frame of your answer. Then come back and see the rest of the video so that whether your answer is in line with me. Suppose you have different points than what I am suggesting here, then message me, call me, asking whether your points are right. Cool. So now you're going to stop, do this question, come back. Cuthbert is based in Sealand and manufactures jackets for use in very cold environments by mountaineers and skiers. It also supplies the armed forces in several countries with variants of existing products, customized by the use of different colored fabrics, labels, and special fastenings for carrying equipment. Cuthbert incurs high cost on design and advertising in order to maintain the reputation of the brand. Each jacket is made up of different shaped pieces of fabric called components. These components are purchased by Cuthbert from an external supplier. The external supplier is responsible for ensuring the quality of the components, and the number of purchased components found to be defective is negligible. The cost of components forms 80% of the direct cost of each jacket, and the prices charged by Cuthbert's supplier for the components are the lowest in the industry. There are 3 stages to the production process of each jacket, which are each located in different parts of the factory. Different parts of the factory, not that point, I'll come to that later. First one is sewing. The fabric components are sewn together by a machinist. Any manufacturing defects occurring after sewing has begun cannot be rectified, and finished garments found to be defective are heavily discounted or in the case of bespoke variants, destroyed. Assembly. The garments are filled with insulating material and sewn together for the final time. Finishing. Labels, fastenings, and zips are sewn to the finished garments. Though the process for attaching each of these is similar, machinists prefer to work only on labels, fastenings, or zips to maximize the quantity which they can sew each hour. Basically, they are talking about specialization, guys. The machinists they like to work on one item only. Okay, zips means zips only. Every day they work on zips. Labels means every day working on labels. Why? If you are specialist on something, then you'll be faster in that. So the people here believe in that specialist concept. The jackets are produced in batches of popular style in a range of sizes. Throughout production, the components required for each batch of jackets are accompanied by a paper batch card, which records the production processes which each batch has undergone. The batch cards are input into production spreadsheets so that the stage of completion of each batch can be monitored and the position of each batch in the factory is recorded. Bit of a tedious process, right? The old systems maintaining batch cards and recording, tracking, stuff like that. There are 60 machinists working in the sewing department and 40 in each of the assembly and finishing departments. All the machinists are managed by 10 supervisors. Again, a traditional setup having supervisors whose duties include updating the batch cards for work done and inputting this into the spreadsheet, as well as checking the quality of work done by machinists. The supervisors report to the factory manager who has overall responsibility for the production process. Machinists are paid an hourly wage and a bonus according to how many items they sew each week. Usually comprises 60% of the total weekly wages. Cool. So machinists are given a volume based bonus, guys. Volume based, units based. Supervisors receive an hourly wage and a bonus according to how many items their team sews each week. Again, volume based. The factory manager receives the same monthly salary regardless of production output. Factory manager doesn't get bonuses. The employees are awarded 5% of annual bonus if Cuthbert achieves its budgeted net profit for the year. Recently, a large emergency order of jackets for the Sea Land Army was cancelled by the customer as it was not delivered on time due to the following quality problems and other issues in the production process. The supervisor had forgotten to input several batch cards, and as a result, batches of fabric components were lost in the factory and replacement has to be purchased. There were machinists available to sew buttons onto the jackets, but there was only one machinist available who had been trained to sew zips. This caused further delay to production of the batch. When the quality of the jackets was checked prior to dispatch, many of them were found to be sewn incorrectly as the work had been rushed. By this time, the agreed delivery date had already passed and it was too late to produce a replacement batch. This was the latest in a series of problems in production at Cuthbert, and the directors have decided to use business process re-engineering in order to radically change the production process. So do you understand? They have had a concern of satisfying customer. Their previous activities, previous processes were not good enough to satisfy the customer. So now they think, no, we need to change the way we are doing things if we want to satisfy the customer. So they have chosen BPR. And these problems cannot be rectified little by little. These are serious problems and have to be rectified altogether at once. So you need a radical change with customer focus. So that's the background. They decided, okay, we will use BPR. Cool. The proposal being considered as an application of BPR is the adoption of team working in the factory. The three main elements of which are as follows. Production lines would reorganize into teams where all operations on a particular product type are performed in one place by a dedicated team of machinists. Each team of machinists would be responsible for the quality of finished jacket, and for the first time, machinists would be encouraged to bring about improvements in the production process. There would no longer be the need to employ supervisors, and the existing supervisors would join the teams of machinists. The number of batches in production would be automatically tracked by the use of radio frequency identification (RFID) tags attached to each jacket. This would eliminate the need for paper batch cards, which are currently input into a spreadsheet by the supervisors. You have been asked as a performance management consultant to advise the board on whether the business process re-engineering would help Cuthbert overcome the problems in its production process. Cool. A typical BPR question. If you see in the scenario, somebody is struggling with certain problems and they come up with BPR as a solution for it, they're going to implement BPR. Advise how the proposed use of BPR would influence the operational performance of Cuthbert. Evaluate the effectiveness of the current reward system at Cuthbert and recommend and justify how these systems would need to change if the BPR project goes ahead. So first they are asking advice how the proposed use of BPR would influence the operational performance. So how you are going to answer this? First you have to come up with 1 or 2 paragraphs explaining what is BPR. Then you identify defects in the current system and tell how BPR is going to, the suggested BPR is going to help. Alright, let's see. So explain first paragraph. First paragraph you're going to say what is BPR. So that's going to be a first paragraph. There what you're going to say is BPR is a radical change in business processes. Yeah, I'm just giving a brief idea. You don't have to duplicate the same words. Something in similar way. BPR is a radical change in business processes in order to improve the customer satisfaction. Yeah, explain that in one paragraph initially. Then we'll come, how it is going to improve. So, well, let's identify the problems with the current system one by one. What are the problems you have in the current system? First one, guys, I see a lot of problems here. First one. So I'll just summarize. From a specialization point. From specialization, we are going to switch to. Let me put an arrow. This is just a short answer for you. We are going to switch to all-rounders. What do I mean here? From specialization to all-rounders. Currently, what happens is, guys, people are working on certain departments. If somebody is a specialist. Yeah. So what I'm trying to say here, currently, before BPR, how people are working in different departments. In each department also people are working on particular machines. So see, there was a situation where in the finishing department they do 3 works: attaching or showing labels, zips, and something else. The person who is showing labels doesn't know how to sew the zips. So what will happen on a day, on a week, when the people who are the machinists who handle zips are on leave? Whatever their work is going to be pending, right? Whereas these people might be finishing their work. What is it? Attaching labels. They will be finishing it very fast, and there will be a stock accumulation, which is an exact traditional system. What the modern system says, what this BPR, according to the BPR here, what they are suggesting here, let's make it into teams. So a person doesn't handle one machine only. A person is a part of a team, and the team handles a product altogether. So imagine there are 5 people. All 5 of them in a team are responsible for a product. What product? Maybe the jackets of Sea Land Army. So starting from cutting the material, stitching the material, and then stitching the insulation, stitching the labels, everything they are going to do. And who is doing what? There is no differentiation. Everyone should be able to do every work. So out of 5 members, if one member doesn't come on a particular day, no task should be pending because he is not coming on that day. Other 4 people should be able to patch up that work, and then they should be able to finish all the tasks. Right? So by doing this, what happens? First thing, delay in work can be avoided, as I explained now. Stockpiling and delays in work can be avoided, which can improve the speed that you are manufacturing. So like Like in this case, we have seen we have delayed delivering the goods to the customer because of that customers have rejected it. Such situations can be avoided. Point number one. Point number two, by making this shift, now the people working in the team would get the overall idea of the product. Earlier, what they did, they were working on small parts of the whole product, so they don't get the overall idea of the product. Now everyone is part of everything in a product, so all 5 members, for example, 5 members in the team would know everything about the product. So what will happen? The quality can be improved because they know the full product now. Rather than knowing small parts of work only, they have knowledge about full product now. So they might come up with ideas how to improve it. Yes. So 2 advantages I'm telling by shifting from specialization to all rounders. First one, stockpiling and delays in work can be avoided. Second one, quality can be improved because everyone gets the full picture. What is happening to the product? Right? That's one. Another improvement that the company's BPR suggests. We'll see what other BPR points they have been suggesting. Production lines would reorganize into teams. So that's what I was talking about, where all operations on a particular product type are performed in one place by dedicated team of machinists. Each team of machinists would be responsible for the quality of the finished check. And for the first time, machinists would be encouraged to bring about improvements. Right, two things guys. Traditionally, you have not emphasized the quality. Traditionally, you had been emphasizing on the quantity. The bonuses were given based on number of units manufactured, volume manufactured, time taken. So you have never emphasized on the quality, right? Now with this BPR, after this changeover, you shift your focus on quality as well. So whatever the previous quality defects you had can be expected to be avoided in the future, because you give responsibility in terms of quality also, which was not there. The second point I'm going to highlight, shift from quantity focus to quality focus. So talk about that. So that is another point they are highlighting in this BPR. Guys, BPR of one company and BPR of another company may not be the same. BPR means simply changing the business processes, re-engineering business processes. So what this company does as re-engineering, what this company does as changes are these: shifting from specialization to all-rounders, shifting from quantity focus to quality focus. Right. So based on the scenario, you have to select what this BPR is attempting to do. So talk about this. So this is second point. Third point, they say bring about improvements in the production process. What? Machinists are encouraged. Guys, machinists are the operational level workers. They only know the difficulties, whatever the improvements that they can do to the product. So all this time in the traditional system, what this company has done, they did not allow the machinists to give their views or ideas. They were just given orders to do the work, and you just measure the volume, do more and more. That was a requirement. Now we are telling them, no, you also can tell us any improvement if it is possible. Maybe we will reward you, like Toyota does. Toyota has a structure where any employee, any level employee can suggest improvements, product improvements. And Toyota goes one step further, and if there are any cost savings or any financial benefits to the company, it will be shared with the particular employee who gave the idea. So how much of encouragement this every employee is going to get to give their ideas. So something like that, right? So another point this BPR is bringing up is encouraging employees to, particularly machinists, encouraging machinists to give ideas. So this is going to motivate them. Point number one, so they will work harder hereafter because they feel like they are recognized, they are valued. Second point, they are the ones handling the product. So if any improvement has to come, they are the first people to understand that, rather than the people in the design department. Yes, people in the research and design are good, but these people might have better input sometimes because they are the ones doing the product. So giving them the freedom, encouraging them to come up with ideas and share the ideas is a wonderful advancement. Yep. So that's another advantage, another benefit that BPR is bringing to this company. There would be no longer be the need of employee supervisors, and existing supervisors would join the team. This will be a cost saving for you. Cost saving due to cost saving due to no supervisors. So that's another improvement. And then you are bringing in RFIDs. We discussed about RFID in another question earlier. So here also what happens, you leave the material pieces sometimes unrecorded, and you don't know later where those pieces are. And then in a rush delivery process, if you can't find out where the materials are, just to satisfy the customer, you repurchase the material because you are in a rush. That can be completely avoided if you have an RFID, because RFID will give you real-time data, how much of stock is there, where the stocks are, what are the types of stock we have. Everything is going to be real-time. So there is no chance, or very minimal chance of missing inventory. Yeah. So RFID, introduction of RFID, or deployment of RFID will reduce costs by avoiding repurchases, saving time in bookkeeping or whatever the paper system they have, that can be avoided. Yeah. Searching for materials, etc. All that could be avoided, right? Because you are going to have a radio frequency system which real time, any particular time, it shows you how much of inventory is there, where the inventories are going to be. So you don't have to search for the inventory, you can see the location also, right? That's another advantage. Cool. That's all. So let's say advise how proposed use of BPR would influence the operational performance. So they said influence the operational performance. It's not only about the advantages. So if you have any disadvantages, any problems, that also you're going to tell here. I have certain problems. Now these all are pros. I'll give green color for them. All these are pros. Now let's see some disadvantages. First one, what do you think about these supervisors now? The supervisors, they would have been feeling that they are superior in the past, right? Now you are bringing them down in terms of organizational hierarchy. You are bringing them down to the machinist level. Won't that affect their motivation? They will feel like they are degraded in their employment. Yeah. So supervisors' motivation may be affected. Yes. What else? You may have to spend heavily on training. Staff training cost will go up. I'll tell you why. Guys, at the moment, these people are specialists in certain areas only. Everyone knows their part of work only. But after the BPR, what you want is, you want them to be all-rounders. You want everyone to know everything about products. So that would take a lot of training. You may have to spend a lot of time and money in training these people. Yeah. So staff training cost might increase. Right. Explaining about all this would be a good answer for that first part. How many points I have mentioned here? Look at this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points I have. So a BPR introduction, and then 7 points I have suggested. This is not the final list. This is not an exhaustive list. If you have any more points relevant and valid, it will be given marks. I just have taken points from the question itself, and I have summarized, structured them. That would be the answer for this A part. Part B, evaluate the effectiveness of the current reward system at Cuthbert and recommend and justify how these systems would need to change if the BPR project goes ahead. Evaluate the effectiveness of the current reward system at Cuthbert. Okay, first we will do that. and then recommend and justify how this should be changed. So if you talk about current reward system, it focuses on quantity, no emphasis on quality. So what will happen? The managers or employees or machinists, everyone will not be concerned about the quality. Isn't it a serious problem, guys? Your employees are not so worried about the quality. They will focus on how to make more units, how to make more output, even with defects, because defects are not going to reduce their bonus. It's just how many units you have made. That's what matters. So that is a problem here, right? That is point number one. Point number two, the production manager was not given any bonus. Don't you think, as an overall responsible person, he must be driving the performance of this unit, the factory? Now not giving any bonus to him, he would not be motivated at all to put in any effort. Don't you think that's a defect in the system? Production manager was not given any bonus. Another problem, they said 5% of salary is given as bonus. My question is, 5% of annual salary as the bonus, I think to the supervisors, I guess, how motivating that is? Is that significant enough to motivate somebody? I don't know. I don't want to say no at once, but arguable. It might be sometimes not to a significant level such that it motivates them. So 5% salary, is it motivational enough? Might be a question. So these are the problems with the current reward system. So the change that we are suggesting, change is required. There's very practical answers. If you have common sense, you can answer this. You don't have to have high level of theory knowledge, technical knowledge to answer that. Even the previous one, BPR, just the first part, what is BPR, was a technical answer which might be accounting for 1 or 2 marks, and the rest of it, anybody with common sense reading the scenario would be able to figure out what to write here. None of this comes from the book. So this paper P5 is all about utilizing your common sense with a little bit of input from theory. Cool. So for this one also, current reward system, anybody reading this with bit of common sense in performance would understand these are problems. So what changes are you suggesting? First one, we said it focuses on quantity and it doesn't focus on quality. So you are simply going to say the reward system or the performance measurement system, performance measures should focus on volume as well as quality. You can't ignore volume. Volume is important, whereas quality also will be important. What would be quality? Number of defects. Some examples: number of defects, time taken, time taken for the production, or you can say production lead time, right? Rejections, return inwards, rejections due to quality issues. See, this kind of factors could be incorporated in your performance evaluation and bonuses rewarding system. Rewarding system means that's based on performance measurement, right? So it always go together, rewarding system and performance measurement. Whatever you are suggesting as improvement to performance measurement would improve the rewarding system also. Cool. So that is one. Production manager is not given bonus, so that you have to change. So the change is required. Production manager should also be rewarded based on performance. And no more supervisors, so you don't have to worry about supervisors bonuses hereafter. No more supervisors. One more thing I have to highlight here. So far, like in the traditional system, bonuses or rewards were based on individual performance. Am I right? Each machinist output was calculated or measured, and based on that you gave bonus. Now you can't do that because you are giving team tasks. A team is going to be responsible for a product. So the bonus scheme should change to team-based bonus schemes. Team bonuses. How they are going to divide it among themselves is their problem. They should know, the team leader might know or should know how each member has worked, and they would share it. But how the organization is going to give bonus is for the team bonuses instead of individual bonuses. Hope you understand, guys, why now you are going to give responsibility to the teams rather than individuals. Quality of a product, meeting the deadline of the product is the responsibility of whom? It's the responsibility of a team, not an individual. So to whom you are going to give the bonus? For the team that satisfies all these requirements. So it has to be a team bonus instead of individual bonus. Clear? So that could be another one. One more thing I have to say, every time, guys, from a traditional system to a modern system, when you are switching in terms of performance evaluation and rewarding, your information system has to change. What information you are collecting, how you are collecting information, how you are analyzing them, that has to change. For example, so far you had been using papers to record the movement of materials. Now you are coming up with RFID. So you need to have proper information system to capture that. Introducing RFID and you don't have any backend software to record that information is useless. So information systems should be changed to accommodate the changes in requirements. So what data to capture now is going to be different. It's not only the volume. You are talking about quality, and a lot of quality related factors are taken. So your information system, your reports, should capture these new things also in them. That would be the changes required after this BPR. So how your performance evaluation and bonus or rewarding system is now, this is how it is now, and it has following defects. These are the problems we have. Because I'm giving as bullet points, but you can't write bullet points in the exam. You have to elaborate each of them. Whatever I have explained, you have to put it into a paragraph. Each has to be a small paragraph explaining. No bullet points. And what are the improvements? What are the changes we are suggesting? These are the changes that we are suggesting or recommending. Now look at the requirement. Evaluate the effectiveness of the current reward system at Cuthbert and recommend and justify. Recommend and justify. So recommending, and you have to explain why you are recommending that. So that's what I was explaining all this time. Recommend and justify how these systems would need to change if the BPR project goes ahead. Clear, guys? So that's one good example of BPR. There are many more questions about BPR in the past papers. Take them and go through. Clear? And again, I'm telling, if you had just gone through the answer before you do it, it's useless. You should have stopped. As I suggested, you should have stopped. You should have done it yourself. You must have your own frame of answer and then compare with mine. That's what makes sense. Right, guys? Alright. So in another video or in another session with another topic and a question, we'll meet up. Thank you.